Hey, this is Notser, and this is the Tier 10 Japanese battleship Yamato. It has 9 460mm guns, 30 secondary guns, 84 AA defense rating, a surface detect of 15.7 kilometers, top speed 27 knots, total health 97,200. For my modules, improved auxiliary armament health, improved secondary gun range, increased secondary rate of fire, reduced the chance of flood and fire, faster rudder shift, concealment. For my commander, situation awareness, basic survivability, basic firing training, faster turret traverse, superintendent, advanced firing training, and improved manual secondary control. We are on the map Islands of Ice, and this is a secondary battery build. Pretty obvious, right? Based on the modules. Why this particular ship over others? Combination of range and secondary gun coverage, so it doesn't really matter what angle I'm facing. I'm doing about 50% of my secondary gun damage to that target. And you say, why only 50%? Well, the other 50 is on the other side of the ship and it can't face it. That's why. Now, interestingly, the 155mm gun turrets sound familiar, Notser. Didn't we just do a ship with 155mm gun turrets? We did. This is one of these interesting things in history as we're headed over to B. So, the Mogami, obviously 155mm gun variant. That doesn't come from nowhere. That actually existed in history. But we, of course, by playing the game, realize there's 203mm guns. Notser, isn't that what they did? It is. But the Washington Naval Treaty, I believe it's the Washington, I'm not sure. A naval treaty basically put a cap on the size of the caliber, and you define a cruiser by the caliber of the gun. I don't know why. I don't know why it's not by the tonnage. You know, I don't ask questions. I just play the game. So 155 was the max caliber you could stick on the Mogami and still be within compliance. And the Japanese were never going to be in compliance when they were actually fighting the war. They designed her to work around the 203s that we're familiar with. But where do you put the 155mm gun turrets that you built so you could confirm that you're in compliance? You stick them on a great big battleship. And that's what they did. They reused the exact same gun turrets and stuck them on as secondaries of this great big battleship. Now, obviously, the secondaries are not going to be as effective as the primary guns of the 155mm Mogami. We can all dream, right? And you know what I'm dreaming of? I'm dreaming of a lot of torpedoes for whatever reason. There's just a ton, okay? It looked like all 3 destroyers are headed this way. They sent their torpedoes. And I started the match with the understanding that I'm using the acceleration module. I should easily be able to slow down. But she's pretty sluggish. I hadn't realized I swapped in, or I never swapped out, the rudder shift, and that's what we're using. Now that's not terrible. Rudder shift is very important. Battleships tend to take a lot of torpedo attention, clearly, and you need to be able to avoid torpedoes effectively. So it's not terrible, but it's definitely not how I'm playing at the beginning of the match. I'm not crazy, okay? I would love for my secondary battery to just take this Benson out. Come on, Benson, just get within line of sight. But I see friendlies are going forward. You know what? They're crazy. I'm going to be crazy, okay? Let's go. We're going to try and line of sight this, have our secondaries going off, and see how much damage they actually do against the enemy. Now, a side note, 0.5.8 was announced, public test. They're going to actually put in brand new ribbons, and they look pretty cool. And one of the ribbons actually identifies when a secondary battery hits the target. I thought that was very cool. I'm very excited for that. And frankly, that would help me know how effective they are in the flow of combat. It doesn't feel very effective. And oh, no, Benson, you're trying to get away. Ah, the island. It's stuck out just a little bit too much. The North Carolina, these guys are so crazy. There are so many enemies on the north side of the map. And all I want to do is kill a couple destroyers and survive. That's all I want to do. I don't want to kill the ship. It sounds like we just lost the friendly New Orleans. Not surprising. Suicide run. Oh no, here come torpedoes. North Carolina has no way to get out of there. He's going to take them all on the broadside. 833 health, and yep, he dies. And here comes some more torpedoes. Oh crap. We've got to go. We've got to use the dead carcass of the North Carolina to block it. And you know what? The enemy's like, wow, there's a great big battleship. Let's all fire on that battleship. And I'm going crazy trying to make sure I don't take any torpedoes. And thankfully the North Carolina was there, and we've got to have our secondaries going. It is attacking, but is it really attacking? It's just so insignificant. I have it selected to that enemy Mogami, and it's still within range. You can still hear the secondaries going off. And I'm just confirming that they're not completely destroyed already, and they are not. They're still healthy. But not a lot of damage, right? Yeah, that guy's still pretty healthy. But we have our gun turret, our back gun turret, facing him, and we're going to try and use it. Oh, an enemy hipper. Interesting choice. Oh, the back gun turret does 14,000 points of damage with a single shell getting a citadel. That's not bad. And this is just how crazy this game is going. We have a 2-base advantage. We're losing ships left and right because obviously some of us were crazy. And I'm just going to try to play within my boundaries. I'm going to try and take out this cruiser. I don't want to have too many enemies that can engage me. This cruiser is within secondary gun range, so it's a good example. And you can sort of see the 155mm gun turrets. They have not rotated to target the hipper. There is a slight delay between going around an island and engaging, and oh man, I wanted a citadel right there, didn't I? I just aimed a little bit too high. 88 is great, but with these guns, you should be penetrating, destroying a broadside target like that. It's not a huge mistake, but I'm going to be taking some damage because I can't hit my shots. And we're almost ready to go. Secondaries are still firing. They're doing okay. They're doing okay. I would say secondaries are more effective against larger ships, obviously. This should be the kill shot. Yes, it is. See you later, hipper. 17,000. That's not bad. Now, obviously, it sort of looks like the enemy might be wanting to go through the gap between A and B. There's at least, what, 3 ships facing south? That could work out in our favor. Oh, wait. There's an enemy Benson in the area. I believe he was scouted by the aircraft over the friendly hippo. Hipper even. He's not a hippo, but hippo would be a cool name for a ship, right? We engage the enemy destroyer, and our secondaries hit, but our primary don't. It's probably going to be gone. But remember when I was talking about the enemies making a push, or it appeared to be a push, and they certainly are doing that. So we are set up and ready to go for a broadside. This is what you wish you could get into. You love it whenever you see an enemy stuck having to show a perfect broadside to your ship, and this Chapayev is the first victim. We lead the target. He had to sort of straighten out, and the shells are incoming, and the shells demolish him. 30,000 points of damage, 1 shot. And I love it. Ow. Yes. All hands went down with the ship, but they could type out "ow" to make sure we felt it, and I just give a little smile. You know, it's unfortunate for him, it's very fortunate for us, you know, honor, glory, that whole thing, and we're gonna try and do it again to the enemy hipper. But he sort of turns back just in the nick of time. We only get 3,000 points of damage. There is still an enemy Benson probably out there wanting to attack me. But you notice something about my screen. I am not detected. There is nothing that has line of sight. There are no aircraft that are scouting me out. That seems pretty convenient, don't you say? Yes, of course, since I'm not using a concealment build other than the concealment mod. I just hate the other one, target acquisition. The little bit of concealment it gives you, I think it's like 1 or 2 kilometers, is so good. It just increases the time that you are unscouted, and it allows you to ambush even more. and I love ambushing. But our secondary build, we must show it off. We must have success. And the enemy torpedoes, perfectly broadside. He does have the turtle back armor, but I think we could do pretty good damage. And 9,700, that's not bad. That's not good. He did angle away, and it helped him out. The enemy destroyer apparently sent torpedoes, and we're going to take one right on the nose. We still have damage control, and I'm going to use it for the flood, obviously. Considering how overextended we are without any protection forward for the destroyer, I'm okay with that. And I'm going to continue to fire on the enemies that are fighting over B. The friendly battleship that was at B preventing their capture just died. Your life will not be in vain. We will avenge you. Hopefully I can avenge them by using my secondaries, because that's the whole point of the video. And it looks like we have a candidate. This enemy Benson is right on the edge, and I would love to stay within my secondary gun range. He's sort of just barely outside of the range. And since he's outside the range, we might as well use our secondaries. And he turns into it, avoiding all damage. But now the secondaries are lit up. And we will see, he's starting at what, 3K? And you could barely see the secondaries flying through the air. And they're just hitting behind him, just little splashes in the water. Still have not made contact with the enemy ship. And this is with every buff that you go, oh, finally. Finally we made contact enough to incapacitate something. The enemy torpedoes, he pulled a Notser. Okay, he ran aground. We're going to continue to fire on him. And my back gun turret is still rotating slowly. 2,400. The secondaries are still selecting the Benson. He's still within gun range. I am still trying to kill him. And I was aware that torpedoes could happen, so I was going to move towards an island. And you can see the secondaries just short. They really do suck for destroyers, I find. Unless they're pretty close, like 7 kilometers, and I don't want a destroyer that close, but unless they're pretty close, you're losing a lot of DPS, and we've got a battleship. We'll see how effective the secondaries are against the enemy battleship. He's 46. Well, now he's healing, okay. We're not going to call out the figures because it's going to continue to go up, but he's going to be 50,000. Of course, I'm going to use my main battery. I'm not stupid. And the main battery is going to do 15,000 points of damage, and the secondaries are working on the target. While the destroyers are still scouted, I do switch to the Benson. But after the fact, after I've played through this match, it probably would have been better and more effective to continue to have the secondaries firing at the battleship, because just look at how often they miss their target. This doesn't happen against a battleship. It's much larger. It's not going to be able to avoid it. And at least we're able to take out the enemy ship. We also got Confederate. Then I turned my secondaries on the enemy North Carolina. I'm showing a little bit too much of my side, but I don't want to get too close, right? There are still 2 enemy destroyers out there, and I want to reorient my angle to work for my ship. The enemy North Carolina takes a torpedo right on the nose or the back. It's not the nose, it's the stern. I light them up somehow with my secondaries. You can sort of see them raining on the target. Oh, nice. We got 13. Oh, nice. We killed him. I don't think the secondaries didn't kill him. I think he burned down. And we're pretty healthy. This isn't going as well as it could. It's just me and a friendly cruiser on the other side of the map against 2 destroyers and a cruiser. Now, I am not designed to fight destroyers. Oh! Secondary switch. Primary gun, come on, take this guy out. Take him out. Don't leave it to chance. Ooh, secondaries actually hit him a little bit. And the primaries hit him as well. We did 5,400. Got Kraken unleashed. And it's going pretty good. Now we've got a Mogami. And we also have what appears to be an enemy destroyer just to the east of my ship. I predicted that the Benson is probably going to send torpedoes, or probably sent torpedoes even. If he sends them, I need to change the course that I was heading. And I was sort of heading back to the east. Yep, there they are. Okay. So we're able to avoid one set. We're not able to avoid a second set. And maybe I could have turned to the port to avoid a torpedo. I don't know. It was very close. But you notice I'm not going to put out that flood. I feel like, yes, this is a real possibility. And we're going hard to starboard, hard to starboard. Please, we have to try and avoid taking a ton of damage. I'm trying. Oh, just barely on the nose. And we do take a significant amount of damage. We don't have any heals. We're going to avoid those torpedoes. But what is my teammate doing? I'm telling him what to do. I want to sandwich the enemy destroyer. It's obvious that he's over there. Just head north. Just head north. And we'll eventually run into the enemy. Now, I'm not capturing anymore. That enemy destroyer is on the point. And I really would like the enemy destroyer dealt with. There is an enemy ship, a Mogami, that I have to expect. He's going to round the island any second now. And I'm trying to get my speed up. Oh, the enemy Shimakaze, he shows up. We just can't leave this a chance. We have to kill him. And I'm going to turn my turrets on him. I feel like if I could take the destroyer out, the friendly might have a chance. Oh, he ran aground. We fire all guns. And the dispersion is... oh, not enough. Just a little bit under the necessary damage. And the friendly's able to take him out. Okay, friendly ship. How healthy is he? Okay, I think he's actually got more health than the enemy cruiser. All he has to do is have his guns facing a direction and fire on the enemy ship. That's all he has to do. He doesn't need to do anything else. Looking back, maybe I could have engaged the enemy cruiser, taken him out. But if the destroyer is allowed to escape, I think he's going to win the game. So I had to take him out. That's what I felt like. And sorry, the camera detached whenever I was typing out. Okay, he's turning. This is good. He will have his guns facing. I don't know why he's facing his guns over there. Dude. The Mogami is just to the west. Just to the west. What is he doing? Where are you looking, dude? Oh, not again. Oh. 2 days in a row? 2 days in a row? What? He's making the same mistake. He's turning his ship and his turrets can't keep up. The enemy is over there, dude. Your turrets should have been facing there. You should have used your health advantage and just traded 1 for 1. You would have easily killed him. But instead, the enemy is easily going to kill him. Yeah. Wow. I guess I'm just not good enough, you know. I didn't do enough for my team. It wasn't enough to earn Devastating Strike, Kraken Unleashed, High Caliber, Confederate, 5 kills, over 164,000 points of damage, 1,675 base XP, and almost 600,000 credits earned. But look, secondary battery, 21,000 points of damage. Not as high as I would have hoped. And that's my experience with secondary battery builds. I think the modules that I would have loaded down would easily have covered 20,000 points of damage. Improved accuracy, rate of fire, better concealment. The whole package is just making you stronger. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you next time.